This was the morning before I had Jack, so the very last picture of my pregnant belly. I don't think that I fully dropped, but yeah, I didn't know at that moment I was taking my last bump picture. Good morning, my name is Jen. Today is June 1st. I am 38 weeks pregnant, I believe 5 or 6 days. And this is my plus size pregnancy story. So today I have 2 appointments. I really didn't think I was making it to June, but today I have 2 appointments, one with my gyno and one with the ultrasound tech, and they're going to again record the movements, make sure that everything's with me is fine, and then measure the baby later on to make sure he's not getting too big, because that was an issue from the beginning. They were worried because of my weight that I would have a larger or smaller baby, which tends to happen when you are overweight. I honestly, there's been 2 or 3 good days where I thought I was definitely having this baby, like I'm having contractions, like I'm feeling all the feelings of, you know, it's go time. But they say the 3rd baby is stubborn, and I think that is right. I didn't think I would make it to 40 weeks, but who knows, maybe not. Maybe this weekend. You just never know. It's whenever the baby's ready. I will say in the past 2 days, the pain in my hand is there, but it's subsided a bit. They're more tingly now, so I'm assuming that, you know, things are lightening, and he's moving around and not putting so much pressure. He's not putting so much pressure where it was affecting my hands. So the past 2 nights I've slept very well. I still have woken up and been in a little bit of pain with my hands, but other than that, we're all good. The pain in my back has also, it's not as bad, but I've been way too tired to actually like do anything. So I said in my previous video, I think that all the contractions and all the tightening happens when I'm doing too much at the end of the day. But even yesterday I would say was my most relaxed day. I didn't do too much. I went to my kids' game, and I had my last day at work, which was super easy. I didn't really go for a walk. I let the dog run in the backyard, and I kind of sat and, you know, enjoyed the really, really nice weather that we're having. And towards the end of the day, I still felt the tightening, and but the pressure in my back wasn't as bad. I think I'm just really excited to have another baby. I'm getting to the point where I just want to see what he looks like and hold him and smell him and all that good stuff, and just you know, have a baby. I'm really excited. So yeah, I'm gonna go in early, see if they'll take me so I could get most of my day started with, and I will let you know how each appointment goes. So first appointment down, it's fine. My weight stayed the same. It's all, but I'm up to 163, so that's pretty heavy. Baby was moving. His heart rate's fine. My heart rate's fine. Everything's good so far. And then, so we're gonna be off to the next appointment so that we can measure, see if he's gotten bigger, what they think he is, and we'll go from there. So appointment number 2 is done. All they did was measure the fluid. They said they wouldn't measure the baby for another 2 weeks, and I should have the baby by then, so I guess they won't be measuring him anymore, and everything's fine. Get another little glimpse of his chubby little face. Cute. Yeah, now to enjoy the first day off of my maternity, and it's a beautiful day. It says it's almost summer-like, so I am gonna go home and get out of this sweater because this morning was chilly, and right now it's baking. It is later in the day, 5:30. I'm at my son's baseball practice. I feel terrible. I took a nap and whew. So I took a nap and woke up feeling worse than I've been in a while. I have yogurt to calm the acid reflux because I literally feel like my whole chest is on fire going up since last night, but it's just getting worse. Yeah, I just feel like complete shit right now. I don't know if it was just a bad nap. But yeah. So they'll be out in the sun playing. Hopefully get some shit. I went home. I went home today and I started pulling weeds out of the garden. Nothing crazy. Like, I was just a few, but it was so hot today. The news said it was going to be like summer weather, and it really is a taste of summer weather in spring. I think the sun just even 10 minutes in the sun of me pulling some weeds took it all out of me. Like, I really feel run down. I even cried right before I got in the car to take my son. Like, I just didn't think I'd be able to get up and drive. My body hurts. My fingers are tingly. Yeah, we'll see how long. So it has been 2 weeks since I've had my baby. I had him at 39 weeks, and it was a big relief. I will say I felt like I was getting worse and worse by the day. Like, I didn't think I could bloat anymore. I didn't think I could feel any more crappier, more tired. It was just, I knew it was coming. He came on 6/6 at 1:16 in the morning, and it was a wild ride for me. Baby boy weighed 8 pounds 4 ounces, so he was right where the doctors thought he would be. He was born 8 pounds 4 ounces and I believe 21.5 inches or 20.5 inches. So that very day, I knew I was going into labor. A little earlier in the day, I was just watching TV and I was having contractions that were about 10 minutes apart. And they were consistent for about an hour or two, but I brushed it off because after I got off the couch and all that, they completely stopped. So I figured it was because I was in a bad position. Maybe it was Braxton Hicks. I did have a lot of bowel movements that day, like a lot. They do say when it's almost time for labor, you're gonna feel like your body's cleaning itself out, and I definitely felt like that. The cramps felt like period cramps at first, which I didn't experience with my other 2 pregnancies, but this pregnancy, that's exactly what it felt like. If you ever had period cramps, it felt like intense period cramps. And that went on for a while. We had a late dinner that day, around 8 o'clock. We picked up some Chinese food, and while I was eating it, I had to take breaks. I was standing up. I was moving side to side. My sister was like, I pretty much think you're in labor. And I was like, I don't know. It could be false labor. The contractions were no longer than 20 seconds, if that. So they were still 10 minutes apart, but they were too quick. I would just breathe through it and they were gone. So I did end up calling my doctor, and he was like, well, definitely, because they're 10 minutes apart and they're not going away for the past hour or two, go to the doctors, find out what's going on. So we drove to the hospital, and by then the contractions were really intense. We got to the hospital around 9:30, and yeah, the contractions, they were still 10 minutes apart, and they were still maybe lasting now like 30 seconds, but they were intense. So maybe about after midnight, I decided I didn't need to be in that much pain anymore. My husband was like, get the epidural. My sister was like, do it. Like, you're right, there's no need to be in that much pain. So I asked for the epidural. The guy comes in, and at that point I'm telling the nurse I don't think I'm gonna be able to get this epidural. Now the contractions are like back to back and they are intense, and she's like, we're gonna do this, don't worry. She was an awesome nurse. She was like, we're gonna do this, you're gonna sit still, we're gonna get this epidural in you, and you're gonna be good. She sat me up, and all I felt was gushes and gushes and gushes of water. Like, it was intense. It felt like at least 3 gallons of water coming out of me. The guy who puts in the epidural, he got the needle in, I felt him start, and then I just felt the baby drop. And I was like, I screamed, and then she was like, what's going on? I said that he's here, I have to push. So, you know, he took the needle out, no epidural, he walked out the door. My husband rushed back into the room with my sister, and I began to push, and he was out. And he literally, it felt like 2 pushes. Well, at first I thought I was pushing. I even yelled out, I was like, I'm not pushing. There was like, you have to push. And then I pushed. I felt like that ring of fire that they talk about when the baby's head is coming through, and he was out like in a blink of an eye. Prior to this, I was only 7 centimeters dilated, so this is right before they were putting the epidural in. I was 7 centimeters, and I sat up, and he just... So that being said, everything happened so quickly. I ended up losing more blood than I should have, and they had to do the massage where they stopped the bleeding, and they had to keep going inside. The worst pain so far in my life. It even hurt more than the baby coming out. I felt weak. So every time they thought the blood had stopped, they went back in, and they had to do it again because I would start bleeding again. Even up to the point where she was going to move me into the other room, I had to get back onto the bed because I started bleeding on the floor. So they gave me a couple shots in my legs to stop the bleeding, and eventually I did stop bleeding. We were only supposed to be in the recovery room for about an hour. I had them at 1:15. We didn't hit the real room until about 4:30 in the morning. But the next day after that, I felt fine. I was completely okay. I didn't need any pain medications. I felt good. Got up, I walked around, the baby latched on. He's breastfeeding perfectly. So everything felt good the first day. By the second day, I started to feel like, I felt like I was having contractions all over again in my back, which I never felt for my other 2 pregnancies either. But they said it was normal. It's just the body, going back. But it literally felt like I was having contractions all over again. So I did let them give me the Motrin. I will say, if you have the support and if you're able to, stay in bed that first week. Don't do anything else. My oldest son's moving up ceremony was the 8th, and I had to go. It was only going to be like an hour, so I pumped. I gave my husband the bottle and the baby, and we went on our way. But earlier that day, just thinking about going, and then the dog, and then the family, and everybody in the one room, I just started crying. Like, it came out of nowhere. I just kept crying. Just thinking about leaving the house, I was crying, but I did pull it together. We went to his moving up ceremony, and we went straight back home. It was fine. The following day, though, I did think I was like, oh, I feel great again. I went to go just take the dog out to, relieve herself. And I wanted to water my plants because it's been almost a week now that they weren't tended to. But it was raining that week, so I wasn't too worried. So I'm watering the plants. I put the hose back. I go back inside, and I instantly start crying. Like, I was so weak, I just started crying. And I love my husband. He was so supportive, and he calmed me down. He let me take a shower, cried in the shower too. But 100% get all the rest you need, because you do need it. You do need to recover. I don't know. if it's the age thing. With the other two kids, I felt fine almost instantly after I had them, but maybe it could have been the combination of all the blood I lost and just how I felt all the way up until delivery. It took a toll on my body. The swelling in my hands and my feet have gone down a lot. I actually was able to get not my wedding ring on, but one of the replacement ones, or the temporary ones that I brought, so that I could have something on my hand. So that actually fits. Maybe the 2 days after I came home, my feet were still swelling a lot. Like, you could see the water in my feet. I could feel it drain every time I had my feet elevated. So I kept them up so that they could, drain. But I still had to move around too, because I wanted to prevent, blood clots and any other complications. The pain in my hand has gone down, I would say about 80%. The pain in my thumb is still there. It does get a little worse at night like it used to, but nowhere near during the pregnancy how bad it was. I could definitely move them more, whereas before it used to hurt just to do this. So I could definitely move them more, and they're feeling better. So I would say, again, like 80%. And I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks that everything will start to, go back to normal. Other than that, everything is, kind of like bliss. Like, everything feels good. I have a baby. My husband's home on his paternity leave, and everything just feels good. Breastfeeding is going great. The baby didn't even lose any extra weight after at his first week checkup. He was just still the same weight that he was when he left the hospital. I'm pumping up to about sometimes 6 ounces already. Usually I'll get 2 and 2. Sometimes I'll get 3 and 2. It all depends. But first thing in the morning, I usually get a good 3 out of each at the moment. I'm starting to go walk again with my dog. I'm actually bringing my oldest son along with me. It's kind of, like a bonding moment with us. And yeah, everything is slowly going back to normal. I'm starting to feel good. So I'm glad I made these videos so that I can look back and just remember how I felt, how things were going. I have pictures of all the ultrasounds and all that. With all the fluid that was leaving my body, I did lose a lot of, I'm gonna say, water weight. The last time I weighed myself, I was at 257, and then just a couple days ago I was at 235. My pre-pregnancy weight was around 220, and of course I want to lose at least 100 pounds off of that too. So I have a long way to go, but yeah, I have a whole journey of breastfeeding and losing weight and strength training and all that I may try to make videos, but I'm terrible at making videos. It's been 2 weeks since the baby was born. I think I recorded this at least 3 times. Yeah. So if you also were experiencing a plus size pregnancy for the first time, or just anything, let me know how many weeks you were when you gave birth, and let me know your story. I'm so interested. I'm still watching videos of like week 38, week 39, even though I'm already 2 weeks postpartum. so I guess that's the end of the plus size pregnancy journey and staying active all the way to the end. And I guess I'll see what I record after this, if I record anything else after this. Bye.